ever see again, to associate with or ever see again. Now, right now, I am about to head to see some of my brothers, my friends, perform some amazing music.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish that I could make a difference. It's just a wish, so I need very good parents. Like Timmy Turner, I need me a Cosmo and Wanda. Never will I be Michael Jackson, but love is a drug and we need it to heal the world. Make it a better place for every woman, every man, every boy, every girl, every color, every race. We taking this message to put your love out to the world. Maybe I'm just too young, all of this appeared before I was born. I miss my granny, cause surely she would tell me, in your life a lot of people go come through, and see you as somebody they could turn to. Forget if they rich or they poor, just give them love. And me by your love, and me by your love. So many people around the world you may not know what their story is, their body might not show. White or black or Hispanic, you should give them love. And me by your love, and me by your love. Annie, bayo, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Granny would say, your blessings will quadruple, cause the Bible say that good will turn down evil. Like hallelujah, praises to the Lion of Judah. Never will I become a pastor, but I will still believe that this is the word of the Lord. Can I please get an amen? He's spreading his love here to all enemies and all friends. All those who choose to pretend, we still not the one to cast the judgment in the end. So we go give them love and leave all the rest to the man up above. You don't have to be holy, just give love to everybody. When people have no reason but they hate you, their goal is to tell me people like whether friend or family, you should give them love. And me by your love, and me by your love. So much people have no reason but they grudge you, and they're doing anything just to block you. Be your boss, your co-worker, you should give them love. And me by your love, and me by your love. Annie, bayo, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Don't forget the people that say they love you. Remember to remind them that you love them too, cause love is the greatest gift you could give them. And me by your love, and me by your love. Annie.
Work for me, Skerrit. Work for me, Skerrit. Work for me, Skerrit. Work for me, Central, Roosevelt, Labor, Yaman, Colio, Maho, Labor, Yo, Wesley, Salisbury, Labor, Grand Fork, Bossy, Labor. What you doing, check, Skerrit? All of we vote it, Skerrit. Labor, right, check, Skerrit. Put your leg, we vote
care for 248 elderly throughout the country and employing 43 caregivers to do so under the Health Care Program.
Do the Skerrit wave, do the Skerrit wave, do the Skerrit wave. Everybody put up their red and wave, wave, wave. Do the Skerrit wave, wave. Everybody, in territory, labor. Rosso Valley, Rosso Central, labor. Rosso North, Rosso South, labor. PT Savan, labor.
Where my people at? Okay. Are you ready? Ready. Here we go. Wait for me. I come in, get them. I come in. Captain Skerrit ring the bell and we ready. Ready to vote back the party. Captain Hunting by God and we ready. Ready to vote back the LP. A driver everybody could trust. A driver religious men endorse. So make sure your vote is counted. Labour Party is bound to succeed. Hey. Everybody branché on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. A train for progress, fairness and success. The train is passing through. Love and humility in every community. The train is passing through. Everybody branché on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Can push into Scott's head on the Labour train. The Labour train. Yes, the Labour train. Sing. Don't leave me down, I want to be.
I see people dressed in costume, food and drink being consumed. Young people walking up, old people jumping up. Woman with child in hand, chipping behind a costume van. I see big truck keep coming down, kicking off heavy sound. So guy is all I hear, right from the start of day. All color, creed and class, moving together, making mass. I see people dressed in costume, food and drink being consumed. Young people walking up, old people jumping up. Woman with child in hand, chipping behind a costume van. I see big truck keep coming down, kicking off heavy sound. So guy is all I hear, right from the start of day. All color, creed and class, moving together, making mass.
short pants showing details. Oh, what a spectacle, looking so wonderful. Revelers in a frenzy, an ocean
So Dr.
of
Skerrit will be
color I
received
see.
by Miss Wattwit and the Team Matador. Stockist, you can begin to strike up. We're having a party and we welcome home the political leader of the Dominican Labour Party.
Something's happening that you shouldn't be missing.
If you're missing it, you should not be.
Jamming to soca beat and all the
This is history in the making, ladies and gentlemen.
I see flags everywhere. I see rise in the air. Well, this is one big fete. People are soaking wet. Some with water and some with sweat.
Oh God, them liberals like a pet. Oh goodness me. Oh God. Maybe tonight we will announce the election. Are you ready?
From reaching this destination.
You ready for election?
Something's happening, and it's so exciting. People just having fun, one big celebration. Must be a really grand occasion. Something's happening that you shouldn't be missing. Dancing along the street, jamming to soca beat, and all the women looking sweet.
Labor.
I see people dressed in costume, food and drinks being consumed. Young people walking up, old people jumping up. Woman with child in hand, chipping behind a costume van. I see big truck keep coming down, kicking off heavy sound. Soca is all. I hear right from the start of day, all color, creed and class, moving together, making mass. Something's happening.
Come on.
And it's so exciting.
Let me see you. Hey.
People just having fun, one big celebration. Must be a really grand occasion. Something's happening.
Ujala, Ukerete, yeah.
C'était un jour qui bénit. Aïe aïe aïe, des jours comme ça, c'est encore toujours plus belle. Les belles, oui, moi garde témoin, chanter l'amour. Malgré tout ça, c'est moi qui te fais vivre. À présent, nous cherchons pour ça pas arriver.
DJ Median, if you're here, make it fit the music, please. If I am fit for broadcast, DJ Median, give me another day, please. Thank you very much. I'm going to call you in a minute and a half. I go to start counting. Okay, DJ Median, if you're ready, you can come across. Hey, DJ Median, thank you very much. A very special good evening to you and good evening to the listeners of DBS Radio. We are here at the Douglas Charles Airport. To be more specific, at the car park at Douglas Charles Airport. And we're about to bring you live coverage of the welcome ceremony of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. You should have known by now that the Prime Minister of Dominica, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, received another doctorate degree from a university, this time the Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That ceremony in America took place yesterday. The Prime Minister is due to arrive here tonight. The Jamaican thousands are here from around Dominica to welcome home Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. This is the second doctorate degree the Prime Minister will receive in 2 years. He received one from India, the lovely university. Following the conferment of the doctorate degree, the Prime Minister delivered a lecture on the dangers of climate change and what the rest of the world need to do at this time to combat the dangers of climate change. Tonight, at the Douglas Charles Airport, labor rights and the people of Dominica have turned out in large numbers, very, very large numbers, to welcome back the Prime Minister. We suspect the Prime Minister is already on the airport. A plane landed just about 10 minutes ago, and the feeling is that the Prime Minister is already on the facility here at Douglas Charles Airport. People are waiting in anticipation. The sound system has been blasting music over the last hour. A number of people are seated on the tents placed here at the car park of Douglas Charles Airport, and there are thousands more looking on. One suspects that this place will explode in the next few minutes when the Prime Minister comes out to this facility. So people are waiting, and they expect any minute from now, they expect the Prime Minister to arrive here at the ceremony. The ceremony will take place under a few tents placed at the car park. I told you before, thousands are waiting to see and to hear what the Prime Minister has to say. What I think we'll do right now, in fact, there are some people already seated under the tents where the ceremony will take place, where the speeches will take place. Earlier on, I told you that there will be addresses from the Minister for Youth Affairs, Justina Charles. The Prime Minister will be met by one or two Queen contestants. Then there will be addresses by the Youth Affairs Minister, Justina Charles, the Minister for Agriculture, and the Parliamentary Representative for Cottage, Reginald Austrie, will also deliver an address. There is Ambassador Hubert Charles will also deliver an address here tonight. And then the Prime Minister's wife, Melissa, will also deliver some remarks. And then the Prime Minister will reply. I said before, people are really waiting. They're waiting and waiting any minute from now. They expect the Prime Minister to appear here at this podium, on this podium. I can see on the podium Justina Charles, the Youth Affairs Minister. One or two other people who will also take part in the ceremony are also on stage. And hundreds and thousands more are waiting. What we'll do now, we'll go on stage and take in some of the music being played by the sound system. On stage at the moment. DJ, you ready? Labor rights, you ready? You ready? Yes, sir. Well, I understand that he's walking. He is on his way. Now, all you know all you already. Behave on yourself. Behave on... This is TBS Radio. We are live at Douglas Charles Airport. We are waiting for Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who has arrived here at Douglas Charles Airport. The Prime Minister of Dominica received a doctorate degree from Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania yesterday. And labor rights have turned out in large numbers at Douglas Charles Airport to welcome the Prime Minister back to Dominica. The Prime Minister is already at the airport. What has to happen now is for him to walk from where he is now to the ceremony. Hundreds are waiting for the Prime Minister. This, by the way, is the second award, the second doctorate degree conferred on the Prime Minister in 2 years. 2 years ago, the lovely university in India conferred a doctorate degree on the Prime Minister. And yesterday, in Pennsylvania, another doctorate degree conferred on the Prime Minister by the Duquesne University. The Prime Minister, following that ceremony yesterday, also delivered a lecture on climate change. The Prime Minister was awarded, he was honored for his advocacy on climate change over the last year, specifically over the last year since the devastation of Hurricane Maria in Dominica. Edward Regis is the master of ceremonies. He is on stage. Other government ministers are also on stage. Minister for Youth Affairs, Justina Charles. Minister for Small Business Development, Miss Paul, and one or two others are on stage. We can hear the Lapo Kabwit in the background. It appears that the Prime Minister is just a few minutes away, maybe less than that, to the podium. The music has started once again. Hundreds have crowded the stage area, and they are waiting patiently for the Prime Minister, who landed just about, the Prime Minister landed just about 15 minutes ago. This ceremony is taking place at the car park at Douglas Charles Airport, and hundreds are all over the place as they await the Prime Minister of Dominica, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. We are unable at this time from where we are to see any sign, but people are looking in a certain direction as if to indicate that the Prime Minister is on his way. I will walk through the big crowd. I will walk through the crowd and see exactly what is happening. Right, so I'm walking through the crowd. There is a Lapo Kabwit on one side of the facility. This is DBS Radio. A Lapo Kabwit approach the stage here at Douglas Charles Airport. And it appears the Prime Minister has arrived on the scene. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has arrived on the scene. In fact, the Prime Minister is on stage. He arrives on stage with his wife Melissa. A few government ministers. The Prime Minister, as we speak, is actually on stage. I told you before that he arrived with his wife Melissa, and the Master of Ceremonies is asking for the crowd to settle down. The ceremony will begin. So there is the Prime Minister Joseph Isaac also arrived with him. Joseph Isaac was on the trip. He is also on stage. Joseph Isaac, Ian Douglas, and the other government ministers on stage. The ceremony is about to begin. Ian Douglas, the parliamentary representative for Portsmouth, emerges. Here is the other minister, Reginald Austri. He takes his seat here on stage. The ceremony is about to begin here at Douglas Charles Airport. Edward Regis is the Master of Ceremonies. Let's go back on stage. The ceremony is about to begin. Yes. All right. Thank you very much. As we begin tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite Nathalie Joseph to sing the national anthem of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Nathalie, can we all stand at attention, please? Quiet!
Isle of beauty, isle of splendor, isle to all so sweet and fair. On must surely gaze in wonder at thy gifts so rich and rare. Rivers, valleys, hills and mountains, all these gifts we do extol. Healthy land so like a fountain, giving cheer that warms the soul.
Somebody noise. Yes. I now invite Pastor Samuel Augustine from the New Birth Church to say a word of prayer for us. Pastor Augustine.
Good evening, everybody. Just to read a brief scripture in the book of John chapter 4, it says, at the end of 2 days, Jesus went to Galilee. He himself had said that a prophet has no honor in his own hometown. Yet the Galileans welcomed him. That was the culture. That was the norm. A prophet had no honor in his own hometown. But there was a group of people called the Galileans who chose to break away from that culture and to honor, and to honor. And tonight we are here to celebrate and to honor. We are here to celebrate and to honor. Doctor once, doctor twice. Our Father and God, we give you thanks today. God, we bless you. Our God, we thank you. We hallow your name, oh God, for gracing us with such presence, for gracing us with such greatness, oh God, in our midst. Oh God, only you could have done this. Only you could have done this. Only you could have foreseen Maria. Only you could have foreseen Erica. And you could have placed such greatness, oh God, among us to prepare and to manage things and to bring us to where we are today. And for that, oh God, we give you thanks. For that, we give you praise. For that, we give you glory, oh God, because you favored us enough to place among us the Honorable Doctor Roosevelt Skerrit. Bless us tonight, oh God. Bless us tonight, oh God. In Jesus' name, amen.
And let the people say amen again. Yes, all right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as Pastor said, we are here to honor a great man in our midst. We are here to honor someone who has done well for Dominica. We are here to honor a son of the soil. And we are also here to say thanks be to God for Roosevelt Skerrit, the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Somebody make some noise! Make some noise! Shake Marigot! Shake it! Yes, this time Marigot gonna be in the bag because we're here. We are here tonight. It's happening right here. But we tell you about that because the campaign coming, you know. It's coming. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the podium the parliamentary representative for the Grand Bay constituency, the Minister for Youth, Sports and Constituency Empowerment, Honorable Justina Charles, to welcome you here tonight.
Thank you very much, Mr. Regis. Let me recognize in our midst tonight the Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, our dear Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, and Mrs. Skerrit, his loving wife. Let me also recognize Honorable Reginald Austri, the Deputy Prime Minister of Dominica. Among us also are my cabinet colleagues and other members of Parliament who are here with us tonight. I also want to recognize Ambassador Hubert Charles, Pastor Samuel, who graced us with a wonderful, spiritful prayer, Makisha Leta. I also want to recognize Father Thomas in our midst this evening. I want to recognize all of us laborites who are standing here from all across Dominica. And I say a pleasant good evening to you. Tonight my task is short. I am hoping that I can make it very brief, but to the point. Friends, Dominicans, well-wishers, I am indeed elated to join all of you in welcoming our own dear, genuine, and astute leader, the Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, back on this blessed land after receiving for the second time an honorable doctorate. I want to welcome all of you who, at very short notice, some people got to know just maybe a few minutes and hours before, and we are here. I want to welcome all of you to this important occasion in the history of Dominica. Let me remind you, in February 2016, if we remember well, just a little above 2 years ago, the lovely University of India conferred the Doctor of Letters degree on our Prime Minister. That was in recognition of his desire to build international harmony among nations and for his outstanding public service and excellent governance. Should I repeat that, people? That was in recognition for his desire to build international harmony, that is worldwide harmony among nations, and for his outstanding public service and excellent governance, people. That was some university from outside of Dominica who made that recognition of excellent governance. Let us not forget that. Yesterday, my people, my brothers and sisters of labor, on the 16th of October, an honorary doctorate was again conferred on him from the Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let me tell you why. In recognition of his leadership and advocacy in climate change. For his leadership and advocacy in climate change. Doctor of Human Letters is given to distinguished individuals. When you go home with all of that, you know we need that for the future. It is given, it is conferred on people who distinguish themselves as leaders. And this is also given to people who distinguish themselves in service and commitment to the institution that confer it on him. Somebody who has distinguished himself in humanity. Humanity, my people. On individuals who have made intellectual contribution to society and the world, not just nationally, people. So Pastor prayed well and said a prophet is never honored in his homeland, but he is honored internationally. People of Dominica, do not forget that. That is our mantra moving forward. People of Dominica, I am just there to welcome you. Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, we have always been proud of you. And this is getting deeper and deeper day by day. As you continue to show us and the world what true leadership entails. He continues to show all of us and the world what true leadership entails. My dear people, as I welcome you, I also want you to remember that this was a man appointed and anointed by God. Appointed and anointed by God. Let us not play with God's anointing. I want to borrow from one of his well-wishers as he gave his address yesterday. One of his well-wishers said that leadership is not a position. Leadership is an action. Leadership is not a position, and I will tell you why. It is one thing to be placed in leadership position, but what is more important is what have we done? What are we doing while in this position to prove we are worthy of that which is entrusted to us? So when we think of leadership in Dominica, let us think of that. What have we done? What are we doing? What do we intend to do in the leadership position that is entrusted to us? And not any leadership at that. Positive leadership. Positive leadership. Draw the line between the lines and see what I'm telling you. Dr. Skerrit has set the mark locally, regionally, and internationally. He has gained the confidence of the international community, and it is growing day by day. PM, you have made Dominica known to the world. You have made every Dominican proud, whether they want to say it or not. You have made all of us proud, PM. So I want to say, as I welcome you to this gathering, and I share these few words with you, it behoves all of us as Dominicans to join hearts and hands in realizing our goal to make Dominica the first climate resilient country in the world. That was why it was conferred on him, his leadership ability in there. And all of us must join hands in making that a reality. All of us. So when we leave live here today, let us get to understand what is climate change. What role can each one of us play in helping the Prime Minister and the government of Dominica realize that goal? We all have a role to play. And I want to end and welcome you here and just say to you, that is one of the things that should tell us, PM, I'm sorry, it's not a political campaign, but I'm sorry. I want to say to you that this should be our stepping stone into the next general election. I want to say to all of us here, while some may not want to acknowledge his positive leadership qualities, I say to us, the world has told us who he is. And if the world has told us who he is, all of us should prepare ourselves for battle. And come next election, we need to decide whether leadership is our position or whether leadership is action. Leadership is everything. PM, may God continue to bless you. May he bless you every day. May he cover you with his blood from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. That no weapon formed against you shall ever prosper in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Honorable Justina Charles. Somebody make some noise. Yes. And of course, I want to agree with the Honorable Minister. You know, leadership is everything. It's absolutely everything. And we knew that since last election. And now the entire world knows that leadership is everything, because the entire world now knows Dominica through Prime Minister Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. Tell them we come in. Tell them we come in. Yes, tell them we come in. We come in with one doctor, two doctors, and maybe several more doctors again. Tell them we come in. You ready for election? You ready? You ready for the campaign? Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to perform a tribute on this auspicious occasion. Gentlemen, one of the most beautiful voices in Dominica, Natalie Joseph, 2 tribute songs tonight.
Good night, everyone. A special good evening to our doctor and Dr. Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. I know. Now, you know, in all things we must give thanks, right? And who do we give thanks unto? That's right. So you know what? I have one request of you. I have one request. Okay. Request is, once you know the song, I want you to join me. Is that okay? And I want you to do one more thing. I want you to promise me that when you leave here tonight, that you are going to pray Dominic its destiny to its divine purpose. Okay? Okay. You are a chosen generation. You know that, right? Okay. We are a chosen generation, called for to show his excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who I am. We are a chosen generation, called for to show his excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. For I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking it. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. I'm walking. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. Take a look at me, I'm a wonder. It doesn't matter what you see now. Do you see His glory? For I know who I am. Take a look at me, I'm a wonder. It doesn't matter what you see now. Do you see His glory? For I know who I am. Oh, I know who I am. Beat your chest and say it. I know who I am. I know who I am. Greg, take it down. I want you to sing it with soul. Do you know who you are? Are you sure you know who you are? You're chosen. You're a chosen people. And your choice is to serve the Lord, all right? So we're going to sing that again. No music. I just want to hear the voices. I know who I am. I know who I am. You believe that? Okay. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Oh, waymaker, miracle work, promise, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You wipe away your tears. You mend the broken heart. You're the answer to it all. Say it. That's right. You wipe away all tears. You mend my broken heart. You're the answer. Jesus. Oh, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Oh, you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You wipe away your tear. You mend. You're the answer to it all. Jesus. You wipe away all tears. You mend the broken heart. You're the answer to it all. Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you.
Thank you. You took us back to church there tonight. Yes. You feel the Spirit tonight? Can you feel the Spirit tonight? We are all laborites. Labor! Labor! Don't be ashamed of whom you are. We are laborites. Laborites all across Dominica. All right? And we're ready for the battle whenever it comes. Whenever Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit announces the election, we will be there. Yes. 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 Ladies and gentlemen.
You are here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Moving.
The program must continue. The program has to continue. And so we invite to the podium Ambassador Hubert Charles to give a commendation about tonight's auspicious occasion. Make him welcome.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished Prime Minister and Mrs. Skerrit, Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Reginald Austrie, other members of Cabinet, other parliamentarians here present, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all good evening. One of the central themes in Caribbean political history is leadership and its role in facilitating or impeding national development. In fact, it is likely that the weighting applied to leadership is inversely proportional to the size of the country, with its importance, that is the importance of leadership, increasing significantly in a micro-state like Dominica. Even prior to our independence, 40 years ago, leadership was a key issue. In fact, during the negotiations on the Dominica Constitution in 1977 and 1978, we had excellent examples of Dominican leadership. Historians like our own Dr. Lennox Honeychurch, have already begun to analyze the details of our early experience with leadership. They will note, for example, that during the Marlborough House negotiations on the details of our constitutional arrangements, some unexpected but innovative suggestions from the leader of the opposition were made and conceded to. In other words, not only did the leader of the opposition make some interesting proposals, but the representative of government, I don't have to give you the names, you know the names, that representative of government conceded the merit of the recommendations made by the opposition. That is an excellent example of leadership. Some of the suggestions that were made are now alive and well. One of the suggestions made, for example, was that we should not have a normal governor, but we should have a presidential system. That is why we, different, separate and distinct from the other OECS member states, have a presidential system rather than that you see in the other Eastern Caribbean states. When historians set out to treat contemporary political decision-making, they will have to find, and they will find, several examples of leadership on the part of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. They will, without note, the consistency of Prime Minister's action regarding assistance to the poor in a society where inequality and exclusion were the legacies of our colonial experience. Historians will note that this pro-poor policy is rooted in the socialist tradition of Dominica and its Labour Party. But the range of policy initiatives overseen by Prime Minister Skerrit, and his consistency in pursuing the cause of social inclusion will not be ignored. Social and political observers have noted the reluctance on the part of many developing states to take decisions that are different from the established norm. They have noted that some small states are reluctant to take quick decisions and to change the decisions according to the emerging situations. Historians will note Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit's pioneering decision to break with Taiwan, and also the decision to move in the direction of joining Petro-Carib and, of course, joining ALBA. All of these were evidence of a fair degree of comfort on the part of our Prime Minister in taking difficult decisions. History will note that characteristic. The final example of leadership to be treated in this brief note is one cited by Duquesne University in its decision to confer an honorary doctorate of humane letters on Honorable Prime Minister Skerrit, who was also invited to deliver the Integrity of Creation Leadership Address. Many observers have noted the geographic location of our island and consequently its extreme exposure to hydrological events, tropical storms and hurricanes. Development planners have noted that the impact of climate change on our island is such that appropriate decisions about climate change and mitigation cannot be delayed. In engaging in the issue of climate change, our Prime Minister has not only implemented a fully integrated approach to the challenge of climate change, but he has done so in a manner that has made the Commonwealth of Dominica and its various resilient programs relevant to the international community. Importantly, Prime Minister Skerrit has insisted that the experience and experimentation with climate resilience programming, which we Dominicans have been undertaking, will not be merely national, but will be placed at the disposal of other small, vulnerable states interested in considering and hence learning from the Dominican experience. Prime Minister, this is a mere footnote on the broader issue of leadership, a topic which you know well. This topic of leadership is never static, but ever changing. It involves regular consultation with a range of stakeholders, constant evaluation of decisions, and the willingness to change when it becomes necessary. In its wisdom, gleaned from over 140 years, and with its reputation for excellence in global humanitarian causes, Duquesne University has decided that it has enough information, evidence, on which to confer on you the highest possible award, and that is an award for humane, the Honorable for his excellence in climate change resilience. For that, Mr. Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, the citizens of the Commonwealth of Dominica extend to you heartiest congratulations and wish you all the very best in your continued engagement, and wish you success as well in your leadership of this important issue of our time, climate change. Congratulations, Mr. Prime Minister.
Excellent piece of articulation there as we outlined some of the leadership achievements of our Prime Minister, Dr. again, Roosevelt Skerrit. Well, there's a man whom I believe will get his doctorate too very soon. Very soon, because he deserves to be a doctor. So I will be the first to call him to the podium. Make welcome the parliamentary representative for the Cottage constituency, the Minister for Agriculture, Dr. Reginald Ostrich.
You can, everybody can call themselves doctor, you know, but it's doctor of what? But thank you, Ed. Thank you, Ed. I think I'm a little old for the doctor thing now, you know, so I'll stick with what I can do best, ladies and gentlemen. Let me recognize the Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit and Mrs. Skerrit. Honorable Justina Charles and other members of the cabinet. Ambassador Hubert Charles, well-wishers, labor rights, and Dominicans. Because what they don't say in public is not what they say in privately. And all of them know that the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is one of the best prime ministers that this country has ever seen. But I guess man had to play a little politics, you know, so then first play a little politics and so on. Because you can remember, well, I just have to get a congratulatory message, which shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. I can remember when the doctor came back with the first doctorate, they had so many things to say. They said that university lovely, they never hear about that university. That university never existed. They say it's a cheap university. And they said that our Prime Minister, he bought the doctorate. Now, today, he getting one from one of the most prestigious universities in the United States of America. What are they going to say now? I guess the spin doctors will go in the lab tonight. And the member for Rosa Central told you in their dirty linen lab tonight, they will be sleeping in the lab. And tomorrow they'll try to come up with something. But you see, we must always remember that the world is watching and the world is listening. Because had the world not been watching and listening to what's taking place in Dominica, we would not be here tonight celebrating this great occasion. And they're hearing the good things and the bad things. So you can go out there, you can bless our country if you want to get at Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominican Labour Party and labor rights, but the world is listening and the world is watching. And in all the midst of all the negative, the world is saying to us that you have a gem in Dominica, you have a special man in Dominica, and you have to keep him. And this business, yes, of a prophet is never honored in his own country is biblical, so I'm not going to dispute it. I'd rather say a king, because tonight we have made this a myth because our king is being honored and recognized right here in Dominica with us. But you know, I have a problem with that. Because our Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit has expanded his territory. Dominica was his territory. Now he has expanded his territory internationally, ladies and gentlemen. And we have to be careful how we move from now on, because if we're not careful, we might lose our king to somebody else. But I want to say to you that the opportunity will soon come when you will have to show the world that Roosevelt Skerrit, that king, remains in Dominica. And I don't know what Ed knows. Ed seems to know something I don't know. But I can tell you that the time is coming when we will show them, we will show the world that that king of ours is not going nowhere. He's going to stay here with us in Dominica. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want to apologize for the absence of some of our colleagues. We have another function in Rosa tonight. There's a cocktail, I think, for the Chinese visiting ship. And so we had to split in two. So half of us came here and the other half went to Rosa. So that's why you don't see we have a full house here tonight. But I want to say to you, in delivering this congratulatory message, that Roosevelt Skerrit was not an accident. Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit was not an accident. And Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit grew from whence he started. He grew gradually. You can trace his development. This is not no fly-by-night doctor. This is a real doctor. And let them know that this is the real doctor, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. Because, and I want to say to you, that the climb to this stage was not very easy for this doctor. Remember how he came in and how he got there? After the death of 2 prime ministers in less than 1 year. When we inherited an economy with 167% of debt to GDP ratio, you know what it means? It means that every dollar you made, you had to spend $1.67. Now tell me, what kind of mathematics is that? How can you make $1 and spend $1.67? And it was a mountain that we had to climb. And this young Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, he stuck to the task. Today, our GDP ratio is 60%. We have to, every dollar we make, we can spend 60% on that and use 40% to go back to you, the people of Dominica. That is what this doctor has done. When the doctor started, we had 2 political parties in the government, and many people thought that government would not last because labor and freedom could never agree. And this young doctor had to keep it together, that today, we have a solid alliance in this country with labor, freedom, and everybody else. And remember, when things were bad, we had to impose the austerity measures on you. And Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit told us to hold on, folks, I will make it happen. And as was mentioned tonight, we found new friends, we found new areas of doing business, that today we have our Chinese, our Venezuelans, our Indians, everybody want to be part of this country that Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit has made. And were you ever here in the Caribbean, you go into a budget and you have cash in the bank of $400 million cash in the bank? In which island, in which country, in which state that can happen, unless it's a state and a country managed by Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. In 18 years, we were able to accomplish that. And we're not going to talk about housing tonight. You know everything about housing. We're not going to talk about education. You know everything. The time will come when we'll talk about those things. But that is the journey that Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit had to travel. That is why the world was watching and the world was looking. And that is why the world believes it's time to confer this high degree on Roosevelt Skerrit, our Prime Minister. But you know, I believe it has some more to come. I don't think he's stopping at 2. Because my geography tells me that there are 5 continents. Asia, he got one in Asia, in India. America, we're looking for Europe. We're looking for Australia. And the other one I can't remember. But you, these labor warriors, have to give us the energy to make it happen. And that is why when we call upon you, you have to be ready. You have to be blazing. We have to wake up, get up, stand up, and make it happen. Because you see, this is not just for Roosevelt, Skerrit, and his family. This is also for Dominica. This is for the future of Dominica. So, Honorable Doctor, on behalf of the Dominica Labour Party to start with, because we had faith in our doctor, we knew he could do it. That's why we gave him 3 doctorates. 1 in 2005, 1 in 2009, 1 in 2014, and we have 1 more doctorate coming soon. But you, the laborites, under all the misery, under all the stress, you kept your faith with your doctor, and today you're reaping the fruits of your labor. So, Honorable Prime Minister, Doctor, on behalf of the Dominica Labour Party, on behalf of Dominica, the country, I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate you on receiving this high award. And it's not because of no fame that you committed, but because you put your country first, you put humanity first, and so you're rewarded for it. And I want to say to you, you have the full confidence and support and cooperation of your cabinet colleagues and of laborites, because people tell you, I'm not in ready business, but it's for Skerrit. And that is what you get when you're a doctor. When you have demonstrated true leadership, when you have demonstrated a love for people, when you have demonstrated honesty and a commitment to hard work. This is not easy work. You don't get doctorate by sleeping and by having long fingernails and by going on the radio and talk foolishness all day and all night. Because the world is listening and the world is watching. Dr. Skerrit, we want to wish you well. The Dominican people need you. All Dominicans need you, because you're the only leader who can make it happen. And I can say to you, when you travel through the Caribbean, they don't ask if you come from Dominica, they ask if you come from Skerrit country. Now they'll ask you if you come from Dr. Skerrit country. And he must teach us how to say the 2 doctors, because I'm not sure it's fair to say 1 doctor. So we'll have to say Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. Congratulations, and may God bless you. Thank you.
Drinks being consumed, young people walking up, old people jumping up.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Dr. Reginald Austri. It soon come. It soon come. Doctor of Politics, you agree? Yes. Well, I want to bring another doctor. You might not know him as a doctor. Yes, is there we strong way? Say, Lanu for are we? The Lester? All right. To confer a blessing as we move forward. So I want to bring Dr. Monsignor Father Eustace Thomas to confer the blessing.
Thank you very much. Before the blessing, I would like to share a few words in scriptures. 1 Samuel 16:7-13. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. There is still the youngest, Jesse answered. He is tending the sheep. Samuel said, send for him. We'll not sit down until he arrives. So we sent for him and had him brought in. He was glowing with health, and had a fine appearance and handsome features. Then the Lord said, rise and anoint him. This is the one. So Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David. My brothers and sisters, mark another version of the 12th verse, proclaiming the choice of David, who was ruddy, with beautiful eyes and a handsome appearance. Anoint him, for this is he. In preparing this congratulatory and prayerful exhortation, I read with interest that studies show that most top executives tend to be tall, dark, and handsome. This also applies to you, doctor. Through no fault of yours. From Jeremiah we read, before I formed you in the womb I knew you, and before you were born I set you apart and appointed you as my prophet to the nations. And I make bold to say, I appointed you as my prophet, my leader, my son to dominate the region and the international community. Doctor, you must be influenced by another text from Jeremiah's 29th chapter. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and future. Doctor. To accomplish your mission on earth, your spirituality would be further enhanced if you read and identify your sentiments with the prophet Solomon in 2 Chronicles 1:1-12, but particularly verse 10 as he prayed for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Solomon asked God, you have shown that great goodness and kindness to David my father, and have made me king in his place. No, Lord God, let your promise to my father David be confirmed, for you have made me king over a people who are numerous as the dust of the earth. Give me wisdom, knowledge, that I may lead this people for who is able to govern the great people of God. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So, Mr. Prime Minister, Doctor, we congratulate you for this honor bestowed upon you, and we thank you for accepting this doctorate from highly recognized Catholic University in the United States of America, where you are free to enter uninhibited. Finally, since the old adage says behind every successful man is a powerful woman, we felicitate your wife, your beautiful wife, as well, Melissa. And we are indebted to her for being supportive of you, her association with you throughout your socio-political career. Could you please stand? The Lord be with you. Almighty Father, we thank and praise you for giving us a leader who has a good, generous heart, having endowed him with great affection for people, especially the elderly and marginalized, and recently endeared himself to the world by making Dominica the world's first climate-resilient country in the world, and now recently honored because of his governance. We pray, Lord, that our Prime Minister will continue to avoid the violence and futile confrontation and teach us to be resilient, not only in terms of the material aspect of our construction, but especially through the elevation and pursuit of our spiritual values and objectives, thus making us a cohesive nation. Heavenly Father, bring about the conversion and radical transformation of those who are unfaithful to our country, that we may recognize that evil forces and unpatriotic statements have no place in nation building by using the media to destabilize and vilify our country. Rather, may they have the fortitude to praise and thank those who love Dominica from the heart, while making sacrifices to clear its name and to showcase Dominic on the world stage by projecting the positive aspects of war, but to prosperity and peace. May this reunion year encourage us to rejoice in the celebration of 40 years of independence as a nation, as we resolutely cherish our national theme, my love, my home, my Dominica, building a resilient nation. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. Amen. Congratulations, Honorable Doctor.
Thank you. I want to invite you to stretch your hand towards the Honorable Prime Minister as we call down a blessing and an anointing on him. Anointing fall on him. Anointing fall on him. Let the power of the Holy Ghost, let it fall on him. Anointing fall on him. Amen. Amen. Thank you. We are a people of God. We are a people who believe in God. And of course, we dedicate our country and our Prime Minister, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, to the Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure at this point in time to bring to the podium the beautiful First Lady of, she's the second lady. The First Lady is the wife of the President. Okay, but the beautiful Melissa Skerrit to introduce Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit.
Sometimes I wish that I could make a difference. It's just a wish, so I need very good parents. Like Timmy Turner.
Let me recognize in our midst the Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Reginald Austri. The ministers of cabinet and parliamentarians, Ambassador Hubert Charles, Father Thomas, Pastor Samuel, Miss Natalie Joseph, family and friends, and to you, the Laborites. I am thrilled to see so many of you gathered here this evening to welcome our Prime Minister, our illustrious leader, my husband, the Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit. I vividly remember the passage of Hurricane Maria. It felt like as if thousands of demons were unleashed on our little island. Our roof caved in, and like everyone else, we lost most of our belongings. With the rising sun on the 19th came the horrid views of roofless buildings, gutted homes, and heartbroken citizens. My husband cried, not for himself and not only on TV, in private too. He cried for his citizens, he cried for his country. But he never, ever entertained the thought of quitting the job at hand.
Allow me to share something very personal that I have never shared with anyone. I'm going to tell you how he handled the initial shock of Maria. He first hiked to Mount Daniel, from Mount Daniel, to my parents' house in Santa Roma to locate myself and the kids. I had never felt and seen him so broken before. But he was composed, and he never showed 1 ounce of panic. He then found a little notepad, and he started sketching. I saw a diagram with Christ at the top in bold. It was circled, it was underlined, and there was arrows pointing down. Then was Jesus, then was the Holy Spirit. Then there was Dominica, and then he wrote his name. And there were a lot of little inscriptions which I couldn't even understand. He was quiet, very quiet, and very still, almost dazed out. Then I saw him writing pages of instructions. And every day onward from then, he would write a new plan. It seemed to me like there was a download of divine instructions. It felt like the Lord was showing that in all this chaos, he would never abandon us. And it reminded me at that time of a song that I had posted on Facebook just before the hurricane arrived. It's called "Be Still and Know That I Am God." At that moment, my husband gave me hope. And I knew that at that point, that Dominica would rise again. What is even more mysterious is that later down, I asked him about the meaning of the diagram and all the drawings that he had. And if you know him well, you know he has a very good memory. But up to this day, he has no recollection of what he wrote. He then made his way out of Dominica with his wet shoes and just the clothes that he had on his back. Upon arriving in the US, he refused to sleep on the bed in the hotel which was offered to him. Instead, he curled up on a small sofa. Ladies and gentlemen, when you suffer, your prime minister suffers with you. When you are in distress, your prime minister feels your pain. My friends, our prime minister is now at the forefront of the fight against climate change. Resiliency is now his mantra. Our visionary leader catches the attention of the world when he speaks on our behalf. The world now listens. The Duquesne University wrote to my husband several months ago to inform him that they had taken a decision to recognize his efforts with an honorary doctorate. And knowing him, he was not prepared to accept, because contrary to what many think, he really doesn't like the spotlight. And so, when he told me of the news, he asked, "Do you think I should accept?" With a tone like he had already made up his mind to decline. I said, absolutely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are bringing this doctorate back home. I'm elated that he accepted. And if I dare say, we are proud to boast that maybe he is the only one or of the very few leaders in this region with double doctorates. The Bible speaks about giving honor to whom honor is due. And so I ask that you join me in congratulating him. With this second doctorate, the Lord is showing us that his mighty hand is still on his appointed leader. I am blessed to be married to this man who covers everything that I ask God for. A loving man, a hardworking man, a God-fearing man, a man of valor, a handsome man, yes. His unwavering devotion to his family is matched with his dedication to our nation's children, the elderly, disabled, the sick, and the shut-ins. Rosie, as I call him, I am truly proud to work at your side. I am honored to be your wife, your support. Dimitri, Isabella, and Malik are blessed to have you as their daddy. Our country is fortunate to have you as our leader. The world is looking at you. I love you, we love you, and on behalf of everyone here, I say thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all the sacrifices that you make. The Lord is with you. We stand firmly with you. Congratulations and cheers to our Dr. Prime Minister. At this point, join me in welcoming the man of the hour, the Prime Minister, our double doctor, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit.
Thank you very much. Let me, first of all, thank all of you who have made it here at the Douglas Church Airport to welcome me back home. I want to recognize the Deputy Prime Minister, Honorable Reginald Ostry, and my cabinet colleagues, and also my parliamentary colleagues present. My wife and my family who are here, specially invited guests, our dear father who prayed for us, and our dear pastor, and also His Excellency Hubert Charles. I want to say to you a heartfelt thanks to all of you for your continued demonstrated support, prayers, and above all, your love. I give you this assurance, again, that my absolute commitment is to you, the people of Dominica. And I shall continue to do everything possible, with the help of God, to seek to make life better for every single family in Dominica. As we seek to build the world's first climate resilient nation, that whole concept of resilience is centered around you, the people of Dominica. It's to ensure that we can place you in a better situation than we were when Hurricane Maria came. This is why we shall continue to spend millions in building better homes for you, the people of Dominica. 5,000 homes to ensure that every single family in Dominica can have a decent and safe home to call their home.
And that commitment to you, my dear brothers and sisters, is firm. And we shall continue to implement that strategy. My acceptance of this award by Duquesne University, which is 140 years old this year, is that I felt that by accepting it, it would bring greater positive attention to our country and the challenges which we are facing and the need for the international community to do more to help us build a climate resilient nation. So my accepting this award is really on behalf of you, the people of Dominica. So this award is your award. It belongs to you, all of you, the people of Dominica. And as my wife said, I was written to in July of this year by the university, indicating to me that they wish to bestow this honor on me for my contribution to Mother Earth. And I hesitated. And they wrote a second time, and with numerous emails inquiring about my acceptance. And finally, I decided to accept it. And I felt that it was important for me to do so as a source of motivation for young people. That no matter your circumstances in life, no matter what challenges you are currently facing, that if you place your focus on God first, hard work, determination, and commitment, you can achieve great things. So my hope is that our young people can take note of this and pursue hard work and excellence. And to us here in our country, my hope and prayer is that we can become a more united country. Because the challenges which we are confronting, brought onto us by climate change, with this monstrous hurricane, will require the focus, the commitment, and the dedication of every single citizen. But we do not have time to wait. Against gambling with our country's future as citizens of Dominica. That we must not allow simple things or little things to cause us to lose sight of the bigger picture. Everything will not be perfect every single day, but we must not lose sight of the journey, our destination, and what will require to get there together. So I urge you, my dear brothers and sisters, for us to continue to remain together as a family so that we can overcome our personal challenges together, so that we can overcome our national challenges together. That's what I wish to get from you, the people of Dominica. There's some silly people who said the first time I received this award from India, that I paid for it. Now, I can tell you, if I have some money, I would certainly prefer to give it to you, the people of Dominica. But we cannot lose focus on these people because they are not interested in you, the people of Dominica. Because you do not have to be in government to make a difference in people's lives. When the Labour Party was in opposition with Mike and Rosie Douglas, We brought doctors to Dominica to see you, the people of Dominica. We brought medication from overseas to give to you free of charge. We send young Dominicans to universities outside of Dominica. Rosie would buy books for many children, uniform for many children, and give many children across Dominica money to pay their bus fares to go to school. We built roads in opposition. We built schools in opposition. We built bus stops in opposition. We built houses in opposition. So you do not have to be in government to help people. And I say to you always, my dear brothers and sisters, as you know better than me, to lead a people, you must first love them. You must first love them. And if you do not love them, you will never have their interests at heart. Because there are some whose only interest is to come to government, believing that there is a lot to get from government. They're not interested in you. Look at what happened. A hurricane hit us. Every single person was affected. Many of you lost your homes. All of us lost our roofs. And not one tin of sardine you could give somebody and tell them, look for their breakfast. And I was out, as you know, for a few days. I was out for a few days, and I heard they have set a date for elections. You see, they like to call for election, and when we give it to them, they're afraid. But tonight we're here. Tonight, my friends, I will say to you that at present, my absolute focus is on building as many homes as possible for you, the people of Dominica. To make life better for all of you. Because I know what this hurricane did to all of us. And I know that there's still many of us, who still need some help to make life better for us. And that's my focus, that's my commitment. That's the last thing on my mind when I go to bed, and that's the first thing on my mind when I wake up, is how we have to work hard to continue to make life better for all our citizens in Dominica. But we commit to this, and with the grace of God, we shall achieve our objectives. But we're going to need, as I said, your understanding and your desire to work together as a people. We have to work together as a family to overcome our challenges. Because it's only when we work together we can make things happen. But I am 100% committed to you, the people of Dominica. This is our country. This is our home. And we have to do everything possible to build our country. And when I saw what happened to our country on the morning of the 19th of September, 2017, I felt that we needed to ensure that we articulate a vision for our country. And I asked myself, what is it that we need to do to ensure that our people can be in a better situation when the storms come? Because scientists are saying to us that hurricanes and storms will come more frequently and they will come more ferociously. And therefore, there are some things that we can do. And if you recall, my dear brothers and sisters, if you recall, after Tropical Storm Erica in 2015, the Dominican Labour Party told you that we are going to build back better. And that if a storm like Erica comes, the infrastructure we put in place will be able to withstand those storms. We were able to put some things in place before Maria came. You recall, we were criticized for the West Bridge in Roseau. We were criticized for the West Bridge. And you know, there are some people in this country who have no love, no compassion, no patriotism. And you know, with all what happened to us, with so many of us homeless on the 19th of September 2017, the opposition went to Roseau to see whether the bridge was mashed up or not. So if the bridge was mashed up, they'll say, oh, Skerrit lied to you, see what happened to the bridge. But there is a good God. We are on God's side, and God is on our side, ladies and gentlemen. And thank God, not even the paint on the bridge came out. We were building the homes for our brothers and sisters from Pilit Savan in this wonderful community in Belleville-Chopin. And we said to you, we're going to build a model community. All the electrical lines are underground in Belleville-Chopin. All the telephone lines are underground in Belleville-Chopin. And not one house, though they were under construction, got affected by Hurricane Maria in Belleville-Chopin. And these are the same homes we're going to be building for you, the 5,000 families across Dominica who are in need of a home, my dear brothers and sisters. The homes we are constructing for you, I give you the assurance. I give you the assurance that you will be able to sit in your home and see that hurricane through, because your roofs will be concrete, the walls are built very strong with impact windows and doors that can withstand a Category 5 hurricane. We will work to ensure that every one of us has a home like that in Dominica. And so we are pushing this very heavily and very strongly, because I really want to ensure that our people are safe in time of a storm. Even the hospital, we told the Chinese that we want the hospital to be redesigned, because originally the hospital had wooden roofs, and they have agreed to put concrete roofs on the hospital for us, so that we're not in a situation where the roof can blow away during a hurricane. So the hospital, the PMH, will have a concrete roof with impact windows that can withstand wind speed of 170 miles. So our patients can be assured of their safety and continued provision of healthcare services. These are the things we're doing. And tomorrow I'll give more details. But as you know, the Chinese government has agreed to finance 5 schools for us. 5 schools for us. 100 million RMB that the Chinese government is giving to us to rebuild those schools. The Canadian government will be building 5 brand new schools for us. Building the schools for us. And I said to you, my brothers and sisters, I said to you, labor rights and Dominicans, that these countries are helping us for two reasons. And when I say to people that these countries are not helping us because we had a hurricane, they're shocked. These countries are helping us because, one, they respect us, and secondly, because we have said to them, we are building the world's first climate resilient nation. Ladies and gentlemen, they have embraced that vision, and to the point where the rest of CARICOM have embraced that vision, and now CARICOM wants to declare the Caribbean region as the world's first climate resilient region in the world. And I have committed myself to champion the cause of climate change. Because it is not an abstract thing. It is not something that is in your mind only. It is something that we are experiencing in our region. And this is why I continue to call on the international community. Those countries that contribute the gases in the atmosphere that causes the oceans to get warmer and allowing the hurricanes to become stronger. They have to do more to help us in Dominica and help us in the Caribbean build greater resilience, because we're the ones who are impacted the most. So I want to thank you very much. Thank you very much for your prayers and for your love. And I will say to you that your commitment, your dedication, your prayers, your support, and above all, your love, don't go unnoticed by myself as Prime Minister and the party leader. And that gives me a greater motivation to work even harder to make life better for all of us in Dominica. So let us work together to make life better for our country. And I want you to stay focused. Stay focused, my dear brothers and sisters. Because sometimes, finally, believe might be in our interest. This is the only serious, focused, organized, committed political party in Dominica today. Only one. This is the only party with a plan. This is the only party that's committed to your children, to the elderly, and to families in Dominica. Only. Everything we do for you, they criticize in your position. Everything. We build homes for you, they criticize. We give your children scholarships, they criticize. We help farmers, they criticize. They criticize everything because, my dear friends, they are not interested in you. They are not interested in your children. They are not interested in your family. They're only interested in themselves. In themselves. Because, you know, for me, most sincerely, whatever I want for my children, I want it for your children too. You know, I went to a village and I was engaging some people. And one lady, she was engaging me and told me her child is in America. I said, that's nice. She said, what is your child in America? She said, my child is studying. I said, that's nice too. And I asked her, well, how did your child go to school? And she said, you gave her a scholarship to go to school in America. And she said to me, she asked me, what about your big son? He taller than you, where is he? I said, my son is in China studying. And so she watched me surprised that I would have sent my son to China and not the United States or England or some other place. And I said to her, my friend, what I want for your child, that's what I want for my son too. And my son is in China, your daughter is in the United States, and I'm happy for your daughter. So it's not a situation where we send your children to China and we send our children to America. Or we send our children to the same schools we send you. Though I could have sent him somewhere else. But let you know that your children are our children. And I don't only have 3 children in Dominica. All your children, I consider them to my children. All of them. And I am not saying this, and I don't want you to vote for me because I'm saying that. I am saying this, my friends, because I sincerely behave so, and I accept so, my friends. So let us continue to work together. You have a clear choice of who is serious. And really, there is nobody else. Anybody you see who make themselves available to run or contest for the Workers' Party is a job they're looking for. No sacrifice whatsoever. No sacrifice. No sacrifice. They want a job. But there are no vacancies in Dominica because the Labour Party is coming to take every single seat in the next election, ladies and gentlemen. So they can send as many applications as they want. But we're telling them we have made up our minds already and we know where we're going and we know who we are going with, ladies and gentlemen. So God bless you. Let us work together. I appreciate you taking time out tonight and driving so far to welcome me back home. I am happy to be here. Let us work together to build our beautiful country, Dominica. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
cry. From the very children, those who have no pride. For instead of helping out, hear them criticize. Oh. But try as I may, I cannot lose my faith. Because Dominica, you're my rightful place. And if I denounce your goodliness, who but me I defend? Oh, there are those among us bent on destroying, and they must be disciplined. I can't forgive them who are crazy, but not them who are lazy. They bring shame on we. I hold you very close to my heart. For you, my dearest, I cannot fall. I think of you everywhere I go. I always long to come back, you know. And for all the children will forsake you, I would always stand up for my truth. Oh, I am your knight in shining armor. I'll remain your true ambassador. Y'all do work tomorrow? Yes, man. Can I leave now? Can I leave now? They want the anthem. All the patriotic people! Na 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 na. This is 40 years of independence. Yeah, man, yeah, man. Let me see that Dominica. Dominica. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, man. 40 years we celebrate. Want everyone to appreciate. But the spotlight is on the nature aisle. So we the masses must pay the right profile. I have seen it in my dreams. We will reign supreme. The gem of the Caribbean, West Indian queen. So tell me what I want to know. How back do we want to go? Hard work is imperative. We'll ride on the positive. Come on, show me the seal. Together we turn the wheel. Let's commit to this land for real. Everybody, let me see it. So we promise to be all we can be.
We promise, oh yes, we promise.
And we promise we will strive to victory.
We promise, oh yes, we promise.
And we promise to work as a team. Motivation from within. Promise to uphold the law. No finish with measure. We'll put our faith in Jaja. We guarantee to prosper. If you believe, then let it show. Lever, let's go. Forward we 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 go. Forward, there we go. Somebody scream. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Oh 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 oh. Yeah, man. Let me see that Dominican to the bar. Level rights. Oh 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 oh. The cleanup campaign has begun. Mentally we will reform. For a new day was born to this country. Demonstrating collective energy. From the voice of just one little girl, unity on force. Oh, selfishness was left out in the cold, a sight to behold. Now, this little rising star brought our country together. Rhythm doing harmony, dancing to one symphony. The formula to progress, we found in a circle test. Let's prove the A is simply the best.
promise.
And we promise to support the Labour Party.
We promise. Oh yes, we promise.
And we promise to amalgamate only positive intake. Promise to defend the pride that land is we reside.